Hey guys, Anders here. Welcome back to another video. Merry Christmas to everyone watching this. Hope everyone is having a fantastic holiday season. And in this video, we'll be talking about the Battlefield 2042 specialists and ranking them, going over their pros and cons of whether or not you should play them, certain play styles, stuff like that. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and of course subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for an insane year, over doubling the sub count of the channel, so much support. And I should be having some pretty special videos coming out, including the $20,000 Gundam Evolution tournament documentary. One of the most intense tournaments I've ever played in. I'm gonna try to make that video super special for you guys. So without further ado, let's just sort of jump into things here. So for some reason, I don't think I've actually made this video somehow since Battlefield 2042 released. But we'll just go from left to right here, and we'll start with Sundance. So, Sundance is, of course, a pretty hated character, I would say, in Battlefield 2042. He has these little grenades you can throw and switch between. You have anti-vehicle, you have the EMP grenades, and of course you have the anti-vehicle grenades. He has a wingsuit, which he can use. I don't think I'll be able to activate it right now, or maybe I will. Oh, there you go. But this is one of the best characters in the game for flanking. If you're playing Conquest, she's also one of the best characters in the game just for getting around these gigantic, oversized maps. It can make the map feel a lot smaller than it actually is. And I would actually say this is one of the best specialists in the entire game. There's so much versatility, so many use cases where she's just great. And I would say this is A to S tier pick across pretty much all the maps. Her only downside, I would say, is that compared to other characters, her strafe speed while aiming down sights is not that great, as you can see here. Other than that, she's a pretty thin frame, and she basically just excels at flanking. She's also one of the best characters in the game at putting spawn beacons other places where other specialists might not be able to access. Now, going back into the selection screen here, there's going to be a lot of character suicide in this video, so I apologize for that. Dozer, honestly, guys, kind of trash, right? Everyone knows Dozer's kind of trash. Unfortunately, his shield, I mean, has a massive turn rate cap on it. Doesn't really have anything that makes him stand out, aside from the fact that he has an explosive resistance trait, which can make him useful in areas that are being spammed heavily with explosives. But other than that, his shield's kind of lackluster. You might be able to troll some people with it. This is a great troll class if you're that type of player. So if you want to make people mad, play Dozer and just, like, I don't know, troll them. Other than that, Dozer, I would say, is a pretty bottom tier character. Put him in, like, D tier, honestly. Dozer's kind of trash. Unfortunate, because he's the coolest looking specialist in the entire game, in my opinion, with the big helmet. Everyone knows that big armor equal big cool. Now, moving on to probably the most hated specialist in the entire game, Mackay. Mackay is, without question, without a shadow of a doubt, the best specialist in the entire game for multiple reasons. First of all, he ignores the rules of gameplay. If I want to go up here, I can, right? Like, you can't tell me I can't. I am now on the top of this crane, and you cannot tell me to get down, period. He ignores the rules of the game. He ignores map design. He can go on anything he can grapple to. He also has the best ADS strafe speed of any character in the entire game. As you can see, it is the same as his hip fire. I think for all weapons except LMGs and all that. So in gunfights, he's just a force to be reckoned with. Absolutely the best specialist in the entire game. Period. SSS plus tier. His voice lines, however, extremely cringe and should be muted at all costs. DICE, quick piece of advice here. Allow us to turn voice lines off. All you need to do is go in the sound options under the volume section, add voice line volume, right? And I will set that to 0%. Moving on to the brand new specialist, Zain. Zain is very interesting. So, Zain recovers health on kill. So whenever you get a kill, you start to actually regenerate health, which is great. Other thing he has is this airburst rifle. If you play Battlefield 4, you know what this is. It is essentially the XM25. Now, the XM25 in this game, or I forget what this is called, the XM370A, is very effective. First of all, it has unlimited ammo. I won't be able to show you that in this test range right here, but it regenerates ammo. You do not need to go to an ammo crate. You get a full 5 more rounds. Additionally, you can kill people behind corners. So this guy right here, like, oh, excuse me, a mark like right there. As you can see, that guy is now dead. So this thing, pretty much the rat exterminator 900 trillion. Like, if you want this guy to die, just be like, hey, what's up, dude? This is, in my opinion, one of the most irritating classes in the entire game, especially in close quarters. It is extremely effective. Solid A-tier specialist, in my opinion. Moving on to Mr. Irish. Irish is just a solid all-around specialist. He has one of the most overpowered gadgets in the entire game with his APS system, which honestly I don't know how to switch to. There we go. Boom. So this APS system destroys pretty much everything you throw at it. Destroys C5, destroys missiles, LIS missiles, grenades, everything you could possibly think of. This gadget is completely overpowered and is actually currently being used so tanks that have people working together, you can put APSs in front of the tanks or like to the side of the tanks, and the tank just can't be hit by an anti-vehicle. So if you hate explosives, Irish is the guy for you. On top of the fact that he spawns with a little bit of armor, and each one of these little ammo packs you pick up, watches in the bottom right here. Oh, I don't think I can pick it up. No! Okay, well, basically he gains armor for each ammo pack he picks up. So, if you like just gaining armor for ammo packs you pick up, I feel like a character with great survivability, Irish is a great character. I would recommend using the med pen with Irish just to further enhance his survivability. Solid high B to low A tier specialist, in my opinion. If you hate taking damage to explosives, he's the best specialist in the entire game, even over Dozer, in my opinion. Moving over to Boris. Boris, when he came out, was incredibly annoying, to the point where they nerfed him. Now, the way they nerfed him now is essentially to get any value out of this little sentry gun, you have to stand next to it just to make sure it kind of does damage and then utilize that damage in gunfights. In its current state, Boris is kind of trash, and while I'm happy about it, like, I hate Boris, it's not that great for, like, overall specialist balance. I would say Boris, if you want to play him, you can, but there are better choices. So, I'm gonna say Boris, like I don't know, like a C tier, maybe a C tier, high D tier specialist. Not really much going on with the old Boris. Liz, on the other hand, should not be in the game, in my opinion. Liz is the best anti-vehicle specialist in the entire game. She has an unlimited ammo shoulder-fired TV missile. And it also paints vehicles and spots them through the map when you hit them. As you can imagine, this is incredibly effective at killing stationary vehicles, even helicopters. This is, I would say, a mostly anti-vehicle specialist. You can use this to, like, troll and kill infantry if you want. But if you want to be very effective against vehicles, Liz is your specialist. You can just play her with, you know, Liz C5, maybe, Liz Medpen. She has a bunch of different things you can run. Liz Spawn Beacon, that's another great one. In my opinion, this sort of, what is it called? The G84 TGM TV missile. This should be the straw from Battlefield 4. It should not be a TV missile. I think that makes it pretty overpowered. But you can shoot the missile. But it doesn't really happen that often. So Liz, I would say solid B tier specialist. I would say she's A or S tier for anti-vehicle. Casper, I've actually grown on Casper a little bit now. So, as you can see, if you're near enemies, it will tell you you're near enemies. With this little thing that comes up in the bottom of your screen. Like, oh, he's getting nearer, and he's getting nearer. And oh my god, oh shit, he's right here. So, if you're a player that struggles with awareness, Casper literally has a built-in kind of sonar around him that tells you if someone is close to you. On top of that, he has an incredibly annoying gadget that is unbelievably effective. You would be shocked at how much XP this gives you. You'd be shocked at how much utility this gives your team. One Casper can effectively spot 80 to 90% of the entire team. the enemy team for the whole game, especially if they aren't killing this drone. Even if you aren't getting kills as a Casper, I would say this is still incredibly effective. And for that reason, Casper, in my opinion, is an A-tier specialist. I think with the upcoming specialist strafe speed increases, Casper might become a high A-tier, low S-tier specialist. Great for awareness, great for reconnaissance, great for XP. Casper does it all, except he loses gunfights to Mackay, and he doesn't quite have the mobility. Moving on to Rao. Rao is also one of the best anti-vehicle specialists in the entire game. So Rao has this ability where he can hack things. Now, you can hack people, but that's obviously not what you want to do. You want to hack vehicles, and if you hate vehicles, if you want a vehicle to die, if you want a vehicle player to suffer, you play Rao. Rao can hack vehicles and disable their ability to essentially play the game from hundreds of meters away just from the click of your analog stick or trigger or mouse button. Now, past this, Rao is pretty lackluster. He is definitely an extremely specialized specialist, and if you want to kill vehicles, I would play Rao, especially helicopters. Now, moving on here, Pike. Pike has a very interesting trait. Those you damage become spotted for self and team. This is obviously incredibly effective. On top of that, she essentially has wall hacks. Like, within close quarters, basically has walls, right? Pretty effective, pretty insane. It's just a short little blip, but even off that short blip, you know, you can gain a bunch of information. She's one of the best close quarter specialists in the entire game, and believe it or not, she used to be even stronger. Comment down below if you remember the dreaded Pike meta. I certainly do, and I'm glad it's kind of subsided a little bit. But even though it's subsided, Pike, in my opinion, is still one of the best close quarters and information gatherers in the entire game. Wall hacks are pretty hard to beat, and her passive ability of spotting people she shoots is also pretty hard to beat. Great information spreading character and gathering character. Another great character for awareness and close quarters effectiveness. Definitely solid, high B to low A tier character. Specialist, whatever you want to say. Falk. Falk is definitely the best medic specialist in the entire game. She has a Sabrent pistol that allows you to heal people and yourself. She revives people quite quickly, and this is the character you see all the Battlefield medic fanatics play, and for a good reason. This, in my opinion, is an S tier specialist. Great team play, pretty straightforward. Don't really need to even talk about much about Falk. You guys understand. She fills the medic role very well. Oh, and her perk is she revives any ally to full health, which is excellent. And moving on to Angel. Angel is a bit of a weird one after his nerfs. So, Angel has this crate that he can call down that allows you to essentially switch between loadouts. It also allows you to team kill teammates, which is great. But Angel has unlimited ammo, and he can revive people. However, he cannot revive people to full HP. That is a Falk-only attribute. So, this is more of a pure support character. If you want to resupply and revive and have the ability to switch between loadouts on the fly, Angel's your character. I would say he's definitely high B tier. Maybe not quite an A tier, but yeah, he's pretty much a jack of all trades without the, you know, supreme effectiveness of maybe the other more specialized specialists. And he has cool skins. So, you know, if you care about skins, there you go. Now, moving on to our last specialist for this video, Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, of course, yes, otherwise known as Crawford. He has a mounted minigun that he can deploy, and his trait here is replenish open gadget ammo for friends that you revive. So he's also a specialist that can revive, but instead of replenishing ammo or reviving them to full health, you actually replenish gadget ammo. And of course, his minigun here, it's not as effective as you might think. Now, his minigun is okay. It's a cool little gimmick, but most of the time, you're going to get shot in the face, you know, and you're obviously extremely stationary when you use this. So I would say Crawford, aka Andrew Tate, aka Top G, would be a very rare use case specialist. I think Angel and Falk are better than him personally. And you just kind of want to use him in choke point areas where you can get good setups for your minigun. And maybe in areas where you're using a ton of gadget ammo, like if you're throwing C5 a bunch and you're reviving people. If you see teammates using a bunch of rocket launchers or C5, you're going to want to run Crawford just to keep your teammates a little more replenished when you revive them. So yeah, I'd say Crawford, maybe like mid B, low B tier. He's okay, but I would pick other characters over him 24/7. That's going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We just went through all of the specialists. I gave my opinions and use case scenarios for every single one of them. If you are not in the Discord, join the Discord. Link is in the description. And, of course, follow my Twitch. Link in the description. I stream every single day. And I can't wait to make this video all over again when they release the next specialist in Season 4. Oh, boy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.